So, good evening, sir. Good evening, namaste. Good evening, everyone. And today we are privileged to have Mr. Jatinder Puri, who is a financial analyst, and he's been a very good friend of mine. And I thought it would be a great idea to talk to him regarding finances, as he is a financial advisor, a very experienced one, and he is very qualified to know about mortgages, insurances, and lots of other things. But most importantly, he can talk to us about the value of money. And we'll try and do it as an informal discussion. And if you have any comments or any questions, you can put it in the comments box, and we'll try our best to answer you that. So, welcome once again to this episode of Conversations Unplugged. I am Dr. Bhaskar Bora, and we are based in London, and we are in the beautiful house of Mr. Puri. So, Mr. Puri, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. Thank you for having me here. And first of all, yes, we'll talk about finances. I'm a financial advisor, and just a bit of warning to everyone. Anything I say here is not financial advice, because it covers a lot broader area, but generically we will talk about different things, and obviously it will be or it may be helpful to your circumstances. So we'll continue with that, but let's see what Dr. Bora has to say and ask me. So let's start with that.
Perfect. So, Puri Saab, थोड़ा अपने बारे में बताएं. So your journey, I know you are originally from India, just like I am, and we've been in this country for quite a while. As the first generation immigrant, we have gone through quite a lot of struggles, some of which some people may understand, some others won't. So if you can enlighten us a bit more about your journey.
Yeah, I think it's always daunting when you are away from home. So you don't know the culture. I think let's start with the funny bit first. So when I first time went to McDonald's and I asked for tomato sauce, and the guy, because in this country they don't call it tomato sauce, they call it ketchup, and he was looking at my face and I was looking at his face thinking, क्या हो रहा है यार यहाँ पे? Finally the penny dropped and the guy asked me, do you want ketchup? And I understood that he's talking about sauce, so I said yes. So this is just one aspect to start with, that yes, there can be a lot of difficulties because you don't know the culture. Another shock was, wherever you go, in India probably you can talk to people, it's easy. Here, any house, any office, there is intercoms, doors are closed, you can't talk to anyone. So somebody says, go and talk to that person, find out about that. But how do I do that? If I go to that door, there is an intercom, I can't even enter, I can't even ask. But yes, now coming back to where I am today or where I started. So when I came here, I had no idea how financial services in UK worked. But asking questions to others, finally I got to know that I need to be qualified. And when I started, there was a basic qualification called Certificate in Financial Planning, which I did. Fast forward 2013, that minimum qualification changed, and if to stay just in the industry, the minimum qualification was Diploma in Financial Advice. So the moral of the story is, first, if you start any journey, you have to know where you want to get to, and the rules may change during that journey, so you have to keep yourself updated, and that's the message I'll give it to everyone. But I started with, my first job was with post office. From post office to financial services, it was a hard change, and at one point I felt like I'm not getting anywhere as well, which may happen to everyone and anyone. But the message here is, Dr. Bora is a motivational speaker, so he will probably reiterate this message: don't give up. If you know what you want, don't give up. And probably that helped me. And I had my journey of working with various banks. I worked with Halifax, NatWest, and Santander. And from last 5 years, I'm self-employed, helping people with their mortgages, investments, pensions, and insurances, which we call here protections. So that's probably it, unless there is any specific question from Dr. Saab.
Thank you, Puri Saab. I think that's brilliant to start off with. Your journey has been incredible, and we've all struggled. Just as you, I have also started from zero and reached to wherever we have reached. And I have known you for a while now, and that's why I thought it would be a very good idea for some other people to learn from your journey as well, and learn from things that I have learned from you. Because one of the things that I have really noticed and learned is that your business has scaled up, I would say purely by word of mouth more than anything else in this day and age of digital marketing and social media marketing and everything. So there's a lot of goodwill for you across the community and even outside the Indian community. So, and I think that only comes with time and with dedication, with commitment to serve people, to help people without really thinking for short-term gains. So tell us a little bit about how you have come to rely on the word of mouth and how it has taken you so far.
Yes, as Dr. Saab, you said rightly, in the modern age of digital marketing, probably word of mouth. How do I do that? I think I wonder myself sometimes as well. But to make it very easy and break it down, I think what happens is, despite the modern age, many people still don't find all the answers, because if you Google things, if you look up some website, there is a lot of information, but then you need a lot of time as well to flick through that information. And ultimately, that's you will be losing your time. And do you want to do that? Again, in the digital age, everybody's actually moving very fast, and they don't want to actually give that time. So they want to speak to someone who can simplify the same information, make it easy. And the beauty of advice is, most people probably don't understand how we work, but because of regulation, we have to take responsibility of advice. And what I'm trying to say here is, okay, I've selected XYZ product for you, but then I say that it is suitable. So which means whatever I'm telling you is, it's suitable for you. And I'm taking that responsibility that, yeah, you told me XYZ, based on that, your information, I think this is the right course of action and this is suitable for you. So coming back to word of mouth, I think I would say that what I try, and it can't be true, because there are people probably who would think differently, but for most of my clients, most of my friends, first of all, I feel that they are part of my family, they are my friends, and I try not to break their trust. So it's, at the end of the day, what I'm doing is, I'm running a business, I need to earn money, but do I need to earn that money on my friends or so-called customers who are, I just said they are my friends. So do I need to earn money on their cost? Probably not. So as long as I can help them selflessly, there are times probably when I don't earn any money, I spend maybe hours with my customers, but I don't get anything back. But the same customer, they go out, they tell other people, and more people get connected to me, and I do get my business. So sometimes there is not a tangible reward, and if we are looking for tangible reward, then probably we should be looking at a different business. But our business, what I do, is more of a relationship, and sometimes there are times when you only give, you don't take. But the take is automatic because it comes back. the universe is, whatever you give, it comes back. So if I'm giving out something, I'm getting my fair share as well, and I'm happy. So probably Dr. Bora can tell you better, because he himself has referred me many of his friends, and I think he feels more confident about the way I deal with things, and that's the reason probably he's done it. And that's my way of doing things.
Yes, that's absolutely true. And in fact, as you said, I have been very happy and confident in referring my friends to you, just because I know you will try and do the best for them. And you know my story. I mean, life has taken a complete U-turn on me, and things have changed overnight. And I came to know of you through buying the house and getting the mortgage and everything. And what I really liked about you was the fact that you actually stopped me from investing in some things. You actually stopped me from spending on some things. Whereas being in the real estate business, I have met many mortgage advisors, many financial advisors who have always given me ways of making fast money. But you were a bit different. And I think at the same time, I was also always busy with earning more money rather than retaining more money. And I think that's something which we generally do. So I think it will be very useful to hear from you as a financial advisor as to what is the value of money and what should we do to retain the money rather than just earning more and paying more to the taxman.
Thank you, sir. Before I go any further, I think I would like to mention that Dr. Sir, you yourself actually were introduced to me by a friend of yours.
Yes.
So that says everything about how my business expands and how word of mouth spreads. And coming back to your question, there are life cycles in financial advice, we say. So early years, probably earning money, making wealth, accumulating wealth. So we call accumulation of wealth. And then there comes a time when you have to preserve that wealth, because gradually when you get older, you may not be able to work that hard. And whatever you earned, obviously some in future, you have to spend as well. If you keep accumulating, when will you spend? Because gradually your health will go down, and you are earning for a reason, to help yourself. So what else can we do? What can we do? We can work, we can earn money, we can invest, your investments will grow, but can you invest into everything and anything? I think if we are thinking that if we invest something overnight and tomorrow we will find the results, probably that's a deception. That's not something we expect. Our message or financial advice message is always, if you are investing into anything, it doesn't matter what it is. First of all, not anything, because you need to know that's a genuine thing, first of all. And then you should have your medium to long-term goal, not that something which will change overnight. And value of money, I think if I broadly put it in this sector, sorry, the word is wrong, in this sentence, that there are people who are earning far less than many of us around, and they are living, and maybe they are living reasonably. Some of us are fortunate enough to earn a lot more, and they are living very well as well. But what's the difference? So is one person different to other? Maybe the other person is taking a bit more holiday, or maybe the other person is going out more on restaurants, or maybe they are spending. So there are some extra lifestyle changes maybe the other person may have, but in terms of basic necessity of life, probably most people live in the same way. So that's your, not your, I think me included, that's our basic lesson, that there are some basic expenses which are most essential. So as long as we've covered that, we know that where we are spending our money, then we should be thinking of lifestyle assets. And we should also know that whatever lifestyle we are adopting, if the time changes, and obviously I don't want to say, but for many people, and we have examples around us where time can change suddenly, and if that happens,
I am an example.
Yeah, I didn't want to say that, I'm sorry. But if the time changes, are we ready to adapt to or scale down from our lifestyle expenses? And that's the key question. And as long as we come back to our basic living expenditure, I think most of us will manage easily. We may have accumulated enough in our life to help with that, but it is the lifestyle, because your size of your house will change, your bills will change, your obviously council tax will change, and I think one thing I will also say that Dr. Saab said at one point, more you earn and more you pay in tax. I think there is nothing wrong in paying taxes. It's absolutely fine to pay more tax and earn more. But what we need to understand is, are we running beyond our means? If you are spending say 16 hours, 18 hours, and you are not giving time to your family, you are not giving time to yourself, your health, are you going to gym, are you walking, are you doing some exercise, or are you just working? Then the question you need to ask yourself is, are you a money making machine or are you a human? And if you are a human, then you've got a responsibility towards your family, you have a responsibility towards yourself, and also probably it's a different concept, but I will also mention here, you have a responsibility towards your creator as well. So you should sit down, think about sometimes about the creator, about the God, and why we are here. So yes, money is a very important factor in life. It makes everything go. Without money, living is very difficult. But at the same time, we should ask ourselves, is the money everything? And that's probably I should end, and I'll hand it back to Dr. Saab, that probably he can ask me anything else he has on his mind.
Thank you very much once again. I think, as you have mentioned rightly, that money is important, but it is a means to end. It is not the end in itself. And what is really important is ethical spending, living within our means. We heard the proverb in school days itself, cut your coat according to the cloth. So if we go beyond that, then of course things are going to catch up with you at some point, and you cannot live just by credit cards and overdrafts and things like that, which many of us tend to do without even knowing it, and sometimes our wants become more than our needs. Regarding myself, for viewers who don't know about me yet, so I've been a successful doctor and an entrepreneur, and I was earning fairly well, and as Puri Saab said, I was working my socks off. I was working 15-16 hours a day, but suddenly in 2019 I sustained a severe spinal cord injury which left me permanently disabled, and then I had a diagnosis of cancer. So overall I had to basically take premature ill health retirement, and from earning substantially well, I was reduced to just living off my pension, and that made a huge difference to my life, and I had to make some big changes to my lifestyle and learning now how to live within your means. And So thank you for all the information that you've given so far. Now that takes me to the next point, which is about insurance. So I think I'm a living example of why insurance is needed. And I think it is only because I had some insurance in terms of income protection, critical illness, and all of that. So I was almost obsessed with having some sort of insurance and some sort of financial security to my family. So when I was doing all these insurance policies, my friends used to laugh at me, almost joke as to why am I spending so much per month in paying of insurance premiums. But it has really helped, and without them I'd probably have been on the street or had to sell off all my assets. So I know normally when people talk about insurance, they tend to run away. They run away from insurance advisors and all that. But there is an element of usefulness to them. So would you like to elaborate a bit more on insurance, please? Just use it. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Saab. I think insurance, probably in one sentence, they are essential part of our financial life. But to elaborate it, I think to make it easy to understand is if you have a house and you've got beautiful gadgets in your house, you've got beautiful walls, beautiful decorations, it looks amazing when you enter. But if the foundations are not strong, and if there is a natural calamity, what can happen to your house, you know that. You can well imagine that. And in the similar way, insurance is a foundation to your financial well-being, because things can change, which probably changed for Dr. Saab. But we all feel that it can't happen to me. It can't happen to me. And that's true, because it only happened to very few. But for those few and for people, I think if they don't have insurance, they know the value of insurance. So I'll give you one example as well here, which probably, it's my way of explaining it, which may not sit with everyone, but maybe it will help. So I always quote that when, as a fare-paying passenger, when we fly on an aeroplane, they carry a lot of life-saving equipment like oxygen masks, or what if plane has to land on the water, they've got actually those tubes which can fill with air and you can swim. So thinking about that, there is a cost of that equipment. Why they keep it? There is no need. They can fly without it. And if they carry that equipment, that eats up a lot of their fuel as well. So there is extra fuel cost as well. So sometimes I'm amazed why they do it. They can save with a lot of extra cost. So I think they do it only because in 1 in million or 1 in maybe several thousand, if something happens, then there is emergency equipment on board. And at that time, if me, you or Dr. Saab, one of us is on the flight, we'll understand value of that equipment on board, because that may save our life. And in the same way, if we, first of all, when we are flying, we never want that to happen. So I'll put it across: when you are buying insurance, please, please, please never think that you have to claim against it, because it will be very painful. And it can be, Dr. Saab is a living example of this here, it can be very painful, but we do definitely need insurance, because in the times of calamity, in the times of when our plane is in difficulty, and that's the time we may have to use that emergency equipment of insurance, which may help with our saving our life, saving our financial well-being, and probably that's it from me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think talking about investing, one of the things that I have learned, having tried various investment things myself, is that, as Warren Buffett has said, you should only invest within your circle of expertise. And you have also mentioned that you should not be investing in just about anything. You should have a little bit of an idea about what you're investing. And investing is not same as speculation. So I think that is one thing that we probably need to elaborate upon, because many people, in general, they want quick money. They want the investments to double, and often many scamsters they try and entice people by saying that your investment will become twice in this many years, or if you do this, you will get this much return. It's almost too good to be true. So I think, as the general saying goes, if it's too good to be true, then it's probably not true. So if you can just tell us a little bit about the philosophy behind investing.
Yeah, I think the simple way of explaining investing is, first of all, you should not invest if you have big debts. Mortgage payments can be termed as your regular requirement, but let's say high interest debts such as credit cards or loans on very high interest or something. And investments, when we call investments, there are different layers of investments. They should match with your risk, and only a qualified person can gauge what risk profile you may be, and matching with that probably you should be doing. So where we live in United Kingdom, the financial advice is a regulated business, and all the regulated advisors, they are on actually Financial Conduct Authority (FCA) register. So if you are seeking financial advice, first thing is to look up on FCA register and find out is the person is qualified, is it authorized by FCA. Coming back to your goal and objectives, everyone may have different goals and objectives. Some people would like to save for their children's education, some people would like to save for their retirement, some people may have specific objective. At certain age they have to cash in some money, they may need to save deposit for their house, or they may need to help their parents abroad wherever they are, or local here as well. So whatever your objective is, either you are confident enough to take that decision and you know why you are investing and how long you are investing, or you should need, I strongly recommend that you should speak to a qualified person. And any investments which have any equity element, we always recommend that it should be invested for medium to long term, which means a minimum period of 5 years or above. And as Dr. Saab said, speculative purpose, which means I invest today and keep watching the share price every day, and maybe in 5 days or 10 days it has become better and I want to take it out, or if it has become worse and I think it's taking my breath away. That's not how investments work.
Thank you very much. So I think while it is the FCA or the Financial Conduct Authority for UK, there are similar regulatory bodies in India or in US and wherever else, but the message is still the same. So be careful about whom you deal with. Invest within your expertise with some where you have some knowledge about, and don't think of doubling or tripling your money overnight, because that's not how it works. It is going to take time. Everything in nature itself also takes time to grow a plant, to grow a fruit. So just like that, investments take time as well. So moving on, I want to talk a little bit about pensions, because I've seen complete two different schools of thought. There is a group of people who give a lot of importance to pension from the day they start a job, and I have seen my senior partner who taught me a lot about pensions. But there are also people, who, especially younger ones, or who still have got another 20, 30 years to work. They don't think that it is worthwhile putting money in the pension, and they would rather spend it somewhere else or save it somewhere else. But I myself, again, talking from my own experience, I have retired at the age of 43. I mean, people dream of retiring at 40. I actually did, but not in the way that as I would have wanted. But yes, because I had been overpaying onto my pension, that is what has probably given me a good enough return now. So if you can tell us a little bit about the wisdom behind pensions and how to go about it.
Yeah, I think most people will be worried because any money we invest into pension is tied until a certain age, which until 2028 is age 55, and after 2028 is age 57. But again, don't take my word for it, because many pension schemes are different and there may be different retirement age. So again, anything I'm saying here is not financial advice, it's general discussion we are having here. So anything you put into pension benefits at the moment from tax relief. You can put money into pension and you benefit from your highest level of tax you pay, which may be 20%, 40%. But that's again in United Kingdom. If somebody is watching from outside the UK, probably your rules may be different, so check in your own country. So let's talk about the basic concept why we have to pay. We all have to get old, and like we previously talked in this discussion, whatever we save, we have to spend at some time, and there will be times when we won't have that strength to earn money. So whatever that day is, we all think probably that's not going to come and that's not for me. But look at your father, mother, look at your elders in the family. They've gone old. We have to become old as well at one day. And despite we think that probably our health will not go down, despite we think we will not go old, if you look back tomorrow, tomorrow and you feel, oh, it was only yesterday when we got married, it was only yesterday our children were 1 year old, and now they've grown to 10 or 15 or 20. And so time actually goes very quick. If we don't start saving for our own future, then suddenly we'll realize from where the money will come. If we haven't saved into, pension is just a vehicle. Not necessarily that you save money in pension. If you want to do something different, you can. But coming back to pension, we are saving for our own future. And if you start, think about say, piggy bank. If you have a piggy bank at home, and if you start putting, say, £1 or £2 or £5 every day, and don't check that piggy bank for 30, 40 years. So I don't want to go into maths, but think about how much money will come out of that piggy bank in those 30, 40 years or 20 years, depending upon where you are in your life stages. And in the same way, if you are investing, and if we are in United Kingdom, then we are fortunate that we will get that tax rebate as well. So that's the extra money going into your pension. And then performance of that investment or the fund where that money is invested. So, which means by the time your piggy bank, you break your piggy bank in 20, 30, 40 years, there can be actually a lot of money in there. So, that's all about pension. So, if you don't start, it won't happen, but you have to start somewhere. And one more thing about where we live in United Kingdom, I think some people may think they may get some state pension, because I think there is a basic state pension in United Kingdom. But for anyone watching abroad, probably again you check your own country and what happens there. But here, so that state pension may not be enough for your lifestyle, because somebody may be earning whatever they are earning, and they are living according to whatever they earn. But when you come to basic state pension, that may not be even maybe 5 or 10 or 20% of your earning. So would you be able to live if you get that basic state pension? So check the stats, check that what you will need when you become old, and if you want to leave it and not do anything, that's again your choice, because no one can force you to save. It's your own choice at the end of the day. That's the message from me.
Thank you, sir. I hope you are not too tired.
No, I'm okay.
Okay, thank you. So I think these are very, very wise words. And to talk, I'd further like to add that it is not just the money in the piggy bank. It also, in the pension pot, it also gets the compound interest as well. Plus your whatever money you put in, the employer will be putting in an agreed contribution too. So it is definitely something worth considering. But today we are just talking about general principles, so we're not going into specifics. But there are lots of information available on the internet and from your financial advisor where you can talk more about it. So you mentioned that pensions are a vehicle. I would completely agree with that, but go even further and say that actually money is a vehicle as well. I mean, if you just keep the money under the mattress, it doesn't mean much. At the same time, if you just spend all your money, then there is nothing much to look forward to either. So I think the ethical spending of money is important towards an end. And just digressing a little bit and talking more about life than just money itself. I've seen you as a very God-fearing gentleman and a very family person, and you've got two daughters whom you have educated very well, and one is a doctor, one is a solicitor, and I think they are probably worth more than any money that you have earned. So, and I personally think, having two daughters myself, that probably education is the best thing that we can give to our children. Is that something you agree?
Definitely, I do agree. But before I answer this question, I'll go back to two things Dr. Bora just said. One is employers' contribution to pension. Most employers, they would add money to your pension, and that's actually, I won't say free money, you're working for it, but obviously if you don't pay, they don't pay. So if you are not paying, they are not paying, which means you are losing on that money. So you should take benefit of that. And second thing, I think I'll clarify, investments in pension are subject to performance, not compound interest. So obviously it's not a saving account where you would get interest. So these are the two things. And coming back to Dr. Saab's question just now, I think the most important thing is your family. And as Dr. Saab said, God-fearing person, I always believe that as far as possible, there can be times, probably for various reasons, you may do things differently, but as far as possible, you should behave ethically, you should be honest, you should be do best for your friends, family. And I think I have a belief that if I am good to my family, then I'm good to my friends, then I'm good to my customers, because it's just a behavior which is same for everyone. Not that I'm good to my family and I'm not good to my customers, or I'm not good to my friends. I think it's a behavior, it's a trait, and if we can inculcate this in ourselves, probably this will reflect everywhere. And I think in this discussion we also talked about that you should devote some time to yourself, your family. So I think we can accumulate a lot of money. There are people who would work 16, 18 hours but may not have time to spend with their children or their wife or their parents. But that's very, very important as well. The reason is, if we give, as I said previously, I think in this discussion, whatever we give out, that comes back. So if we are spending time with our children, with our family, with our parents, if we respect them, we do get the same back. I think there is nothing to explain about it. Or even if, let's not expect anything back, it's a satisfaction we get. There is a lot of joy of spending time with your family. There is a lot of joy in spending time with your parents, children, wife. Why we go on holiday? Because we have free time, we want to talk to our family. That's a time because we enjoy. So in the same way that 24 hours are there in one day, so we should have saved some. We should save some hours or time for our children, for our wife, for our parents, if we can, because it will give them immense joy and it will give some joy back to us automatically, not that we ask for. And what can we give our children? I think many of us, we accumulate for our children because we want to make them comfortable. There's nothing wrong in that. But let's think about, I think another thing Dr. Saab said in our discussion was first generation Indians or first generation immigrants. So what we did, we earned everything ourselves, and that gives us some self-esteem. So if we give our children good education rather than money, and they stand on their own feet, what it will give them? It will give them again the same self-esteem which we have. It will give them more confidence. But if we just give them money, what will happen? They may not have that self-esteem or confidence to grow in their life. So, as much as it is important to retain money for them and grow money for our children and our family, at the same time, I think, this is my belief, that we should at times leave them alone to learn their own course of actions, and they should learn from their own life. They should face their own challenges because we can't always be there for them. My parents, my dad is not with me anymore, and maybe after a certain age I didn't even think that he should stand with me and give all the time all the suggestions to me. And we all grow up and we don't want our parents' suggestion. So in the same way, I think we have to give them good education, sanskar bhi hum keh sakte hain. So give them whatever good environment, but not overdo it, not that we have to do everything for them. That's the message.
Thank you, sir. So I must confess that I have been someone who have been obsessed with family security and trying to do everything for my children. But now, as time has progressed, I have realized, and in fact one of my friends said this to me, Poot ka poot tu kya dhan sanchay, poot sa poot tu kya dhan sanchay. So basically it means that if your children are good, then you don't need to save money for them. And if your children are not good enough, then there is no point in saving for them either. So they all have to fight their own battles, just like we have fought ours. So they will have to fight their battles. All we can do is to give them a strong foundation by education, with love, with a good family. That's what we can do. So I think this has been a very, very helpful discussion. Definitely it has been for me, and I hope it has been for you as well. So we're going to close down soon. So Mr. Puri, any last message to our viewers?
No, I don't think so because a lot has been said, and probably I may have repeated myself a few times as well. So it may be boring for the viewers at times as well. But thank you for having me here, and thank you, Dr. Saab. Appreciate it. But yes, enjoy your life, look after your families, do earn money, but then I think stay within your means. All the best to everyone.
Thank you. That's been brilliant. So, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of another session of Conversations Unplugged with Mr. Jatinder Puri, financial advisor based in London, to be precise, in Orpington, in Southeast London. So, he is available for more specific questions if you want him to.